Ladies and gentlemen, they thought you were blind, didn't they? That their little jabs, their sneaky insults, their casual disregard went unnoticed. But you saw it all. Every look, every word, every sly smirk. You counted them like clockwork. Tick, 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 tick. They didn't realize that every slight, every ounce of disdain, every moment they dismissed you was building something. Not a weakness, not a defeat, but a fire. They assumed your silence was submission. They mistook your calm for fragility, your patience for passivity. They didn't know you were quietly absorbing it all, letting every ounce of disrespect fuel a storm within you. They laughed, mocked, sneered, as though you weren't capable of seeing through the cracks in their masks. But you did. You saw it, and you felt it. And oh, how you let it simmer. Because you understood something they didn't. There is power in quiet. You could have lashed out. You could have matched their venom with your own, but that would have been too easy, too predictable. And you? You aren't predictable. No, you are a masterpiece in progress. A quiet revolution waiting to be unleashed. They underestimated you because they couldn't fathom the strength it takes to remain composed in the face of such deliberate disrespect. They thought silence was weakness. They didn't realize it was strategy. Every insult, every disregard was a lesson. You studied them, learned their patterns, their fears, their vulnerabilities. You became a collector of their arrogance, an architect of your own response. They mocked you for being quiet, not realizing you were listening, observing, calculating. They thought they were playing a game with you, but they were only teaching you how to win. Oh, how foolish they were. They thought their words were cutting you down when they were actually sharpening you. Every dismissive glance, a whetstone, every backhanded compliment, a spark against steel. Every laugh at your expense, the hammer that forged your resolve. You let them think they were in control because you knew the truth. The real power lies in patience. And when the moment comes, because it will come, it won't be an outburst or a fit of rage. No, your response will be measured, precise, devastating. It won't be about revenge. It will be about redemption. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove yourself right, to show them that the quiet ones, the underestimated ones, are the most dangerous of all. Tick, tick, tick. The clock keeps turning, and they remain oblivious, wrapped in their own hubris. But you know the truth. You've always known. They fed the fire they didn't see, built the weapon they didn't understand. And when it strikes, they will realize their mistake, not because you sought their downfall, but because they gave you no choice. Let them laugh while they can. Let them whisper their insults, parade their arrogance. You don't need their approval, their validation, or their understanding. Their disrespect has become irrelevant, a faint echo against the roar of your determination. You are not the sum of their words. You are the result of your own resilience. And when you rise, it will be without their permission or their acknowledgement. You don't need them to see you coming. In fact, it's better if they don't, because the best transformations happen in silence. The most powerful victories are won without warning. So let them believe in their delusions. Let them cling to the idea that you are small, weak, invisible. They've already lost, and they don't even know it. Their disrespect, their arrogance, their ignorance. It's all weightless now, floating away as you ascend to heights they can't reach. And when you look back, it won't be with anger or regret. It will be with understanding, because every step they tried to pull you down, every word they used to break you, became the very foundation of your ascent. They never imagined you were quietly absorbing every disrespect towards you, but you were. And now, you're untouchable. So rise, unshaken. Rise, relentless. And when you do, Don't bother looking for their approval. It was never worth having. Their applause would mean nothing because it was never genuine to begin with. You've outgrown the need for their validation. You've transcended their narrow judgments and shallow measures of worth. They built their worlds on flimsy pedestals of ego. But you've been building a fortress, brick by unshakable brick, forged from every slight, every underestimation. You were never blind. You were never deaf to their murmurs, their quiet conspiracies, their cutting dismissals. You heard it all, saw it all, felt it all. They thought your silence meant you were retreating. They thought your lack of reaction was a weakness. But they didn't realize silence can be the loudest response. It's the calm before the storm, the stillness before the earthquake. They mistook your restraint for defeat, not realizing it was your greatest weapon. You see, you were never just absorbing their disrespect, you were studying it. You became a student of their malice, learning every intricacy of their insults, every nuance of their disdain. You dissected their intentions, their motives, their insecurities. Because that's what they are, isn't it? Insecurities. Every word they flung at you was a reflection of their own fears, their own inadequacies. They tried to project it onto you, but instead, you turned it into fuel. The quiet ones. Oh, how dangerous we are. We don't react. We reflect. We don't crumble. We calculate. They never realized that every time they tried to push you down, they were handing you the tools to climb higher. They were the architects of their own irrelevance in your life. They gave you the lessons they didn't know you were learning, the fire they didn't realize you were igniting. And now, the time is near. Not for vengeance, not for petty retaliation, but for your rise. Because your success, your triumph, will be the loudest silence they'll ever hear. You'll walk past them, not with anger, but with indifference. You'll rise above their world of petty games and shallow victories, not because you want to spite them, but because you've always been destined for more. Tick, tick, tick. The clock continues to turn, but this time, it's in your favor. You've waited patiently, endured quietly, and now your moment is inevitable. It won't come with fireworks or grand announcements. It doesn't need to. Your rise will be steady, unstoppable, like the tide reclaiming the shore. They won't see it coming because they never thought to look. They were too busy underestimating you to notice you were surpassing them. And when you stand at the peak, don't waste time looking down at them. Their opinions, their judgments, their doubts, they've already turned to dust. Your focus is forward, always forward. Because this journey was never about them, it was always about you. It was about proving to yourself that you could endure, that you could rise, that you could become more than they ever imagined. There's a certain poetry in it, isn't there? The way their disrespect became the soil where your strength grew. The way their doubt became the wind beneath your wings. They thought they were burying you, but they didn't realize you were a seed. And now you're blooming, thriving, reaching for heights they can't even comprehend. Let them remain in their small, self-contained worlds, clutching their illusions of superiority. You've outgrown those spaces. You've outgrown the need for their acceptance. The path you're on now is one they'll never understand because it's forged from resilience they've never known. They didn't have the strength to endure what you did, and they wouldn't have survived the trials they put you through. That's the truth they'll never admit. So keep rising, relentless. Keep moving forward. Every step you take is a testament to your strength, your will, your unbreakable spirit. And with each step, their whispers grow quieter. Their relevance fades further. They become shadows in the brightness of your light, echoes in the vastness of your success. But don't hate them. Don't waste your energy on resentment or anger. Instead, Thank them silently for the lessons they unintentionally gave you. They were your unknowing teachers, the architects of your growth. Without them, you might not have discovered the depths of your own strength, the breadth of your own potential. They tried to define you by their limitations, but you showed them that you are limitless. And now, as you stand at the precipice of your greatness, let their memories fade into the background. Your journey isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about becoming everything you knew you could be, everything they never imagined you were capable of. Rise, unshaken. Rise, relentless. Rise, and let your success speak louder than any words ever could. Because in the end, it was never about them. It was always about you. Not about their petty opinions, not about their fleeting judgments, but about the silent force within you, waiting, yearning to emerge. They thought they were the protagonists in your story, but they were nothing more than background noise, static in the symphony you were composing. And now, the melody is yours to play, and it is deafening. You see, they miscalculated. They saw your quiet demeanor, your patience, your willingness to step back as weakness. They thought they were breaking you when all they were doing was tempering steel. Every insult, every disregard, every moment they overlooked you, it added another layer of fortitude to your soul. They mistook their cruelty for power and your silence for surrender. But silence isn't surrender. Silence is strategy, and you've mastered it. For too long, they reveled in their imagined superiority, believing that their words, their actions, held the power to define you. But power isn't handed over so easily. Power is claimed, earned, and wielded with purpose. And now you hold it, not in your fists, but in your heart, in your mind, in the unshakable resolve they unintentionally helped you build. They never realized you were absorbing everything, not to carry it as a burden, but to transform it into strength. The weight of their disrespect wasn't crushing you, it was training you. Every time they looked past you, every time they spoke over you, they were unknowingly teaching you how to endure, how to persist, how to rise above the noise. Now, as you step forward, you do so not for them, but for yourself. This isn't about proving a point to anyone else. This is about living up to the potential you always knew you had. It's about claiming the life you deserve, the respect you command, and the peace that comes with knowing your worth is not dictated by others. They won't understand, of course. They'll be shocked, confused, perhaps even envious. They'll wonder where this strength came from, how you managed to rise when they thought they'd buried you. But you owe them no explanations. Let their confusion linger. Let their disbelief fester. You have no time for their games anymore. Because your journey isn't about them. It never was. Their words were just noise. Their actions just distractions. The real battle was always within you, fighting the doubts they tried to plant, resisting the urge to shrink yourself to fit their narrow view. And you won that battle. Quietly, steadily, you triumphed. And now, your rise is inevitable. It's not flashy or loud. It doesn't need to be. It's the kind of rise that commands attention without asking for it. It's the kind of strength that speaks for itself, that doesn't rely on the approval of others. They'll see it, of course. They'll feel it in the way you carry yourself, in the confidence that radiates from you. They'll sense it in the way you no longer respond to their provocations, no longer seek their validation. That's the beauty of your rise. It doesn't require their acknowledgement. It exists independently of their opinions, their judgments, their attempts to define you. You've outgrown their world, their limitations, their expectations. Your path is your own now, untethered and unapologetic. They'll try to pull you back, of course. They'll try to remind you of who they thought you were. of the roles they tried to assign you, but those roles no longer fit, and their words no longer hold power. You've rewritten the narrative, reclaimed your identity, and there's no going back. Every step you take forward is a step away from the shadows they tried to keep you in. You don't need their light, you found your own, and it burns brighter than anything they could have offered. It's a light, forged in the crucible of their doubt, a beacon of your resilience and determination. So rise, unshaken. Let your silence continue to speak volumes. Let your actions tell the story they never imagined you could write. And when they finally realize the truth, that you were never blind, never weak, never defeated, it won't matter. Because by then, you'll be so far ahead, so far beyond their reach, that their opinions will be nothing more than whispers on the wind. And as you stand tall, unbothered by their noise, you'll understand something profound. They were never your adversaries. They were merely obstacles, challenges that sharpened your edge. They were the resistance that made you stronger, the friction that sparked your fire. This isn't about vengeance or proving them wrong. It's about honoring the strength you discovered within yourself. It's about embracing the journey that brought you here, the pain that shaped you, the silence that empowered you. It's about standing in your truth, unapologetically, and knowing that you owe no one an explanation. So keep rising, keep moving forward. Let their doubts fade into irrelevance. Let their disrespect become a distant memory. Your path is clear now, and it leads to places they can't follow. Not because they're not capable, but because they never chose to walk with the same courage, the same integrity, the same unyielding determination. This is your story, and it's just beginning. So rise, unshaken. Rise, relentless. Rise and never look back. The same unyielding determination that carried you through the storms will now guide you into the light. This is not the climax of your journey, but the foundation for something greater. Everything you endured, every slight you absorbed, has prepared you for this moment. Not to bask in the approval of those who doubted you, but to walk a path they could never envision. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you were always right. Think back to the moments when you questioned your worth because of their careless words or thoughtless actions. Remember the times you felt invisible, unheard, dismissed. Those moments could have broken you, but they didn't. Instead, they shaped you. They taught you resilience, patience, and the value of staying true to yourself even when the world tried to bend you. That's what they'll never understand. How you remained steadfast, how you bore their insults without letting them take root in your heart, how you faced their disregard without ever doubting your own value. They'll wonder how you turned pain into purpose, how you transformed their doubt into your drive. And while they search for answers, you'll keep moving forward, untouchable and unstoppable. You owe them nothing, not even your anger. They don't deserve your energy, your attention, or your time. Their disrespect has already served its purpose. It's propelled you to heights they'll never reach. And when they look up, searching for you in the spaces they once occupied, they'll realize you're no longer there. You've risen above, far beyond their limited view, into a realm where their opinions no longer matter. This is your time now. Your silence was never submission, it was preparation. And now that the time for silence has passed, your actions will speak louder than any words ever could. Each step you take forward will echo with the strength of someone who refused to be broken, who refused to be defined by the small minds of others. Let them watch, let them wonder. Their confusion is irrelevant. You've outgrown the need for explanations, the need to justify your worth. You've found your voice in the quiet moments, your power in the stillness. And now, As you rise, you carry with you the lessons, the strength, and the determination that their disrespect unintentionally gifted you. Rise with grace, not malice. Rise with purpose, not spite. Let your success be your response, your triumph the answer to their doubts. But remember, this rise is not for them. It never was. This is for you, for the person you fought to become, for the dreams you've nurtured in silence, for the future that belongs to you and you alone. So rise unshaken, rise relentless, and as you move forward, don't look back. The past is a chapter you've closed, a story you've outgrown. Your focus is ahead, on the life you're building, the person you're becoming, the possibilities that await. This is your journey, your victory, your story. Own it, live it, and let the world see the power of someone who was never truly broken. Let the world see the power of someone who was never truly broken. Not because you didn't face pain, but because you embraced it. You turned it into strength, shaping yourself into someone they never thought you could be. The world doesn't need to understand the depths of what you endured. They'll feel it in your presence, in your unwavering stride, in the quiet confidence that radiates from you now. You're not here to make announcements or declarations. Your rise isn't something that needs a spotlight, because it's a force so undeniable it speaks for itself. They'll see it in the way you no longer flinch under scrutiny, no longer second-guess your worth, no longer shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You are unapologetically yourself, standing taller than you ever have, not in defiance, but in authenticity. It's not about revenge. Revenge is loud and fleeting, a desperate grasp for validation that you no longer need. What you've achieved is so much greater than that. It's peace. Peace with who you are. Peace with what you've endured. Peace with the journey that's brought you here. They could never take that away from you, no matter how hard they tried. This is the beauty of your rise. It's built on a foundation they'll never understand. They didn't see the nights you spent wrestling with doubt. They didn't hear the internal battles you fought when their words echoed in your mind. They don't know the strength it took to keep going, step after step, when giving up would have been so much easier. But you know, you remember every moment of struggle, every decision to push forward despite the weight of it all. And that knowledge, that memory, is a part of you now, a reminder that you are unshakable. Let them wonder, let them speculate. Their confusion is the best acknowledgement you could ask for, a testament to the strength they never saw coming. And as they scramble to understand how you've risen, you'll keep moving forward, unbothered and unstoppable. Their opinions, their judgments, their petty attempts to diminish you, they've become irrelevant. You've outgrown the need for their approval because you've found something infinitely more valuable, your own belief in yourself. You don't need to explain your journey to anyone. The scars you carry, visible or not, tell the story of battles won, lessons learned, and strength gained. Those scars are not signs of weakness, but of resilience, proof that you endured what others thought would break you. Wear them with pride, not as reminders of pain, but as badges of survival. The beauty of your rise lies in its quiet power. It's not about making noise or seeking recognition. It's about living in a way that honors your growth, that reflects the strength you've gained, that proves you are more than anyone ever gave you credit for. And that's the ultimate triumph, knowing you've risen, not to please others, but to fulfill the potential you always knew you had. You see, they were never your enemies. They were merely obstacles, lessons in disguise. Their attempts to hold you back were the very forces that propelled you forward. Without their doubt, you might not have discovered your strength. Without their dismissal, you might not have found your voice. Without their underestimation, you might not have realized your worth. So thank them, not with words, but with your silence, your success, your unwavering rise. Thank them by becoming everything they said you couldn't be, not because you need their approval, but because you deserve to be your fullest self. Their role in your story is done. They were the catalyst, but you are the one who transformed. Now, it's your turn. To live boldly, to move fearlessly, to chase your dreams without hesitation. The path ahead is yours to shape, free from their shadows, their limitations, their judgments. You've broken free, and the possibilities are endless. This is your power, to turn pain into purpose, to transform doubt into drive, to rise from the ashes of their underestimation as someone stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. Let them see it, let them feel it, let them watch as you soar beyond their reach. But don't do it for them, do it for yourself. Because this journey has always been about you. Your rise is not an end, it's a beginning. A declaration that you will no longer be confined by the narrow views of others, that you will no longer dim your light for the comfort of those who can't handle its brilliance. You are here, unshaken, relentless, and unstoppable, and the world is about to witness the power of someone who was never truly broken. In the end, their words, their doubts, their disrespect were never about you, they were about them. But your rise, that is entirely yours. So stand tall, unshaken, and let the world see what they never imagined. Rise, not for them, but for yourself, because you were always meant to.